Well, this is a little story about a dream I had. I seem to want to call it On the Way to Country Music Heaven. I heard a song where a guy was wondering if God liked country music. Well, I was wondering myself and thought it would be pretty slick when my time came to ask for a position where I could tell maybe something about that judgment. Turns out asking that sends you straight to hell. Actually, it wasn't that bad, at least not right away. There's a shelf you sort of get plateaued up on, transparent, so you can look back down on earth. And there is everybody who has ever loved country music, awaiting the verdict. All the fans and all the wannabes and all the country stars you've ever heard, all are treated the same. Cash was joshing with Steve Forbert. Connie Smith bestowing those blue eyes on an unknown songwriter. Dylan waving his hands at Buck Owens. Hank Williams now in regular clothes. Pee Wee King, Chet Atkins, Patsy Cline, they were playing cards with session players dealing. Fred Rose. A bunch sitting around a wooden table. Loretta, Dolly, Willie, Curly, Tammy, Harlan, George Jones. And there were millions like me, like in a dream, still holding transistor radios, which tells you something about how the place was divided up according to calendar dates. Jim Reeves was near me. Not too far away were Glenn Campbell and Mr. Ronnie Millsap and Mr. Ray Charles were talking and laughing. George Strait and Randy Travis were more in the distance, and those were just the ones I recognized. There were many, many ordinary people mingling and talking with each other among the greats. I asked Bill Anderson if he liked singing the modern stuff. He said, "It's great, but nothing like Kitty Wells." And Kitty heard that and winked at me and said, "He can do both, and it sells." There were probably a lot of them up there I should have known, but didn't. And I confessed I was thinking of showing Lefty some of my own songs, but it wasn't the place or time. As you can see, time itself gets a little confused up there, but not the genre. I think I would recognize Mozart or Rihanna, and I didn't see anybody who ever played the Tropicana. I was talking to a guy who claimed he knew where I could get old Carter family tapes when Merle came over and put his heavy hand on my shoulder. He said that our fate might depend on me. And since I had been in prison, I'd be right for the mission. Well, I couldn't remember that I had been in prison, but now that I had risen this far, I wasn't going to object. Merle said, "There's a man down there who we need to pull back out." By down there, he meant way down there. That is, already cast down the fiery spout. But he said, "You and me, we're going down to talk to Charles. And we're going to get him a retrial. It's been done." So Merle became my Virgil, if you're familiar with that old 14th century stuff. And he said he knew people down there anyway. And we debarked. Merle was humming "Sing Me Back Home." And Charles was right there in the second circle, which struck me as a very good sign, because the circles of hell get worse the farther down you go. And how bad is lust, anyway? compared to greed and wrath and treachery and fraud? Who hasn't been waylaid by a little lust? And he already paid topside, keep in mind. And we got some of his greatest songs as a result of that. C'est la vie indeed, written right there on the stone cell wall. So now I see Chuck Berry up strutting around among us like nothing had happened. And I'm pretty sure when revelation comes, well, speaking for myself, I'm pretty sure the way is clear now for all of us to head on up.
I'm tired and to find, and nothing still